GIVIT founder Juliette Wright has been changing lives for more than a decade now. She created the groundbreaking charity organisation after noticing vulnerable Aussies would struggle to connect with essential items and services during times of need. GIVIT now works alongside 4,000 other charities to coordinate and streamline important relief.
Now, one figure who noticed her incredible contribution is none other than Queen Camilla herself. Her Majesty has been patron of the organisation since 2020 and went the extra mile yesterday, inviting Juliette to Canberra to finally meet in person. And GIVIT founder Juliette Wright joins us live. Wow, you had quite the day yesterday. You are still floating. You're on cloud nine.
I'm so happy that it went so well too, because obviously it was such a huge amount of pressure to host the Queen.
Tell us about it.
Well, when she arrived, we were so delighted to see each other, I immediately started crying. So that was... And then I remembered to curtsy, and then I introduced her to the GIVIT volunteers, and then introduced her to the GIVIT team, and we showcased the work that we have done in the last 4 years since she's been our patron. But we focused on disaster recovery. We've done 25 natural disasters since she's been our patron and delivered over $30 million worth of aid. So that means people have given us $30 million to buy items locally for local people in need. And we also talked about our domestic violence work, which is something that she's incredibly passionate about. And we've fulfilled 1 million requests from organisations all across Australia. And we talked about how we can't keep up with the need as well. There's an incredible amount of despair and poverty in the community.
It's incredible work that you do, and this connection is beautiful. Your meeting was towards the end of what was a very busy day for Her Majesty, but she spent so much time with you.
Yeah, and time slowed down.
Yeah, right.
And so it felt like 2 hours. And her questions were so...
knowledgeable about what she was talking
she knew
about.
Exactly what we'd been doing. And she made us all feel so relaxed. There was also another part of it which was wonderful, is that the GIVIT team were a small team trying to have a big impact and in helping Australians in need. And I could just tell everybody in the room just felt so grateful for her acknowledgement of our work.
And I love that it wasn't just Camilla.
No.
So tell us how that played out.
Well, at the end, they're ushering her out and we have a beautiful big team photograph. And then what was supposed to happen was the King was going to take her through the Botanical Gardens for a walk, and they had another part to go. And then we were told that the King hadn't arrived yet. And so we all went incredibly excited. We've still got some more time. And she was also excited. So we talked about other things like how GIVIT also actually prevents unsolicited, not wanted donations going into disaster-affected areas, and they all end up in landfill. So she was fascinated by the quality that sometimes is donated in disasters. So we talked about other parts of our work that we didn't think that we were going to get to talk about. And then she got ushered off to go with the King, and then she went, "No, Charles, come back. I want you to meet GIVIT."
Wow.
Yeah, so we got another couple of minutes with him.
So the King was running late. She'd spent half her life waiting for that man.
What was he... Did she said...
Come over. And then he...
And she actually called him by name? Like...
I think so. Yes.
What did you think, John?
And then she's ushering him over, and then of course, then I definitely did curtsy, and he also gushed about Her Majesty's work and how wonderful her charity work is, and they a
good team.
What was that moment like? That quick conversation with the King?
I could see the love between them, which was quite lovely, and I thought that they were quite relaxed after such an incredible. Those couple of days were a very heavy agenda, and yet they still seem to have...
You can see when they're passionate about something, they're all in, right?
Yeah.
Did you present their Majesties with anything?
I did, but we never saw or gave it to them because security took it and then screened it for half a day.
Oh, of course.
So it went through X-rays, and the security was another level. And I've never seen, like, you've got local police, AFP, just the Botanical Garden security staff and everybody coordinating, and then the camera people. It's a logistical exercise, and I think Prime Minister and Cabinet did such a great job.
Let's take a moment to remind people of the amazing work that GIVIT does. How does it all work?
Well, we support 5,000 organisations across Australia, and they can request anything that they need for their clients. So it could be a washing machine, a bed. Think about anything you touched today. So linen, bed, cutlery, fridge. they're all essential items that everyday Australians need. Yeah. So the organisations request those items, and then we are asking generous people like your audience to actually fulfil that need. And
so it could be a situation where there's a woman escaping a domestic violence. She has herself and 2 kids. They need 3 beds. So you'll go, we need 3 beds, and it will cost us $1,000. Someone donates $1,000.
Or you could also donate the bed.
Right.
And because we take beds as well.
Right. New?
No,
yeah.
as new.
As new?
You have to take a photograph of the donation before you actually pledge it or offer it through the website.
Yeah.
And so far, sometimes we're doing 85,000 donations a month.
Wow.
But that's not just a reflection on GIVIT, that's actually a reflection on how incredibly generous Australians are to support people in need as well. So it's the platform connecting people.
But it's the amazing work you did to muster that.
But it's the platform that connects people who have with those in urgent need.
But also the very sad need there is for stuff like this. I love how Camilla and you guys came together, because it was Camilla that reached out in the very first... And I'm not talking about yesterday's meeting, I'm talking about way back. Tell us about that.
She was devastated by what she saw when the 2020 bushfires were on, and she was also devastated by the wildlife. She reached out to GIVIT and she said, I would like to give a modest personal donation, which we did. So what that means is 100% of the funds that we get given in a disaster or any time of the year, we spend in local businesses on local needs, requested by local organisations for local residences. So it's all win-win-win. We're making sure that we're fulfilling what's actually needed, not what we think needed. Yeah. So we sent her a report that outlined exactly what we'd spent the money on. It was one request was a water tank for a farmer who'd lost all water infrastructure, and we also filled the tank full of water and did the plumbing. And so that was all from generous donated funds from Australians. Yeah. And so we showed her the report and that's an incredible... She said, I can't believe how my modest donation had such a wide impact. And she said, I love the work that you're doing. Can I support you in any way? Oh. And I said, well, would you like to be our patron? And she said, I don't know if I can, because I've not been a patron to anyone outside of the UK. Right. And so she came back 2 days later and said she can, and she will.
Juliette, we could talk to you all day. This is an amazing story. Congratulations to you and the team.
Yeah. Thanks for having
us. It's phenomenal work that you do.
Yeah. I'm still so excited by the meeting. That's great.
We could talk for ages, but Kylie and I have got to walk through the botanical gardens now and meet the fans.
Thanks, Juliette.